Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Charlene Israel. Residents of Moore, Oklahoma are facing the reality of complete devastation today. Schools are damaged and destroyed, hospitals damaged, and entire neighborhoods flattened after a massive tornado struck Monday. Some reports say at least 91 people are dead, including 20 children, and authorities fear they will find more victims today. Dale Hurd has the story.
The deadly EF4 tornado cut a path of terrible destruction, 2 miles wide, 12 miles long. Neighborhoods flattened, homes and schools destroyed.
And I got into the safe room, and about a minute after the safe room, I hear woof. And all you can do is smell sheetrock and wood, and it was over like that.
The twister packed 200-mile-per-hour winds, shown here from a family's underground shelter, and then the devastation afterwards.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
To put that in perspective, that's about like a 2-mile-wide lawnmower blade going over a community, just wiping out everything in its path.
Worst of all, the destruction included an elementary school filled with students when the storm hit. The violent winds flattened walls, killing at least 20 children.
I was on the ground and my ears just went beep, and I couldn't hear anything except cracking and kids screaming.
Frantic rescuers raced to pull children from the rubble. This morning, officials fear more young victims are still inside.
We were pulling house walls off of people. There were people crawling out from everywhere and anywhere.
Our hearts are just broken for the parents that are wondering the state of their children that have been in the schools that have been hit today.
The storm left scores of city blocks barren and dark. Rescuers walked through neighborhoods to see if they could hear any voices calling out from the rubble.
We're going through house to house, very detailed, digging under everything, debris, closets, shelters, backyards, just anything we can find.
President Obama has declared a major disaster in Oklahoma and directed all federal resources to assist the recovery effort. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
And we're learning more about what happened in that elementary school where at least 20 children died. Search and rescue workers say the children were in the main hallway when the roof collapsed on top of them.
What we were told by one of the leaders of the medical command post was that all of the children were in the main hallway, which is where they were supposed to be during their tornado drills, and the roof collapsed on top of them, and they suspect water lines broke and the children drowned because they couldn't get up from the debris.
Some parents in Moore waited anxiously last night for news of their missing children. While there are many stories of tragedy, there are also stories of hope. CBN's Michelle Wilson is in Oklahoma and brings us one family's amazing story of survival.
I was just waiting to be sucked up. I felt like we were going to be sucked up.
Melissa Smith and her daughter Alexis quickly drove to pick up her eldest daughter Jewel, who was in gym class. That's when it hit.
Behind me is the gym where the kids were told to take cover, and just looking at the magnitude of the wreckage, it's a wonder that anyone survived.
They said everybody get down, the lights went out, you know, you could hear it, and the ceiling just started falling down on us.
And our ears were popping, and then someone hit us in the head.
As Melissa and her daughters huddled in the gym, they found out it wasn't as safe as they thought it would be.
I just got on top of my kids. I'm bleeding in the back of my head now.
There's just miles of down power lines, and people are everywhere. Parents are here to pick up their children, and they're just trying to make sense of it all.
We spoke to the Anamane family, who took shelter at a nearby building. They all survived.
I said, God, please help us to stay safe in this tornado if we have one. They said, amen.
Some footage coming out of Oklahoma is illustrating the shock residents are feeling. We showed a brief clip earlier, but it's worth taking a closer look at the before and after shots one homeowner captured. This video by Jason Ledger shows the gigantic tornado as it approached his home. As the storm bore down, he took cover in his basement with loved ones. After the storm had passed, he came out of his cellar to inspect the damage. What he saw was a stunning contrast to what things were like before. The entire neighborhood had been flattened and reduced to mounds of debris. Homes that stood just moments before were now gone, As he viewed what looked like a war zone, Jason quoted the Bible verse, "The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away." Well, Moore, Oklahoma is the same community that was struck by a powerful tornado back in 1999. 41 people were killed, hundreds were injured, and it caused about $1 billion in damage. The 1999 tornado was clocked at 300 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service. Monday's twister reached up to 200 miles per hour.
This big tornado that hit along the same path of the May 3rd tornado in 1999. It's just hard to believe that something like this could happen again to Moore itself. And I just want to say, first of all, that our prayers and our thoughts are with the Oklahoma families that have been hit hard by this terrible storm.
This most recent tornado is the fourth to hit Moore since 1998. A team from Operation Blessing has already reached the Oklahoma area affected by the tornado. One volunteer described scenes of destruction there looking like the end of time. This Operation Blessing convoy traveled Monday from Texas to Oklahoma City, and teams have already been briefed on the disaster there. Today, OB will connect with partner churches and agencies to coordinate relief efforts. Operation Blessing has already spent the last week in Texas helping victims of the Granbury tornado. They've cleared trees, cleaned up debris, and collected mementos for families like the Thompsons.
The Operation Blessing volunteers immediately were able to start boxing up everything that was still left. We found baby pictures, pictures that we thought we lost just in the rubble. Within not even an hour, just boxes packing up of our clothes and everything else we could find here. Obviously, we couldn't have found on our own.
Thompson says God saved him and his wife and two babies the night of the tornado. He had just changed jobs, allowing him and his family to attend church on the other side of town.
The tornado came through so quick that I heard nobody had time to react, when it came through and take shelter. So like I said, if I was at work still, and with the kids and the wife here, I don't see how they would have made it, being the destruction it is like this.
More than 500 Operation Blessing volunteers have helped families like the Thompsons this past week. OB has partnered with dozens of churches from across Texas, and Operation Blessing's Jody Geddes says they're offering both physical and spiritual help.
We've also taken time, in addition to the hard work, to do the heart work, and that is to pray with people, to love on them, to encourage them. Because in such a devastating time, not only do they need a helping hand, they need somebody to come and to let them know that they're not alone.
Operation Blessing is also working with local community emergency response teams, and Home Depot has provided supplies. Turning to other news, the director of the IRS's Exempt Organizations Division is reported to have had a history of harassment. According to the Weekly Standard, Lois Lerner worked for the Federal Election Commission's Enforcement Division before joining the IRS. She was accused of politically motivated harassment there after an investigation into the Christian Coalition. The FEC accused them of working with candidates to spend money on certain issues. In the end, the FEC lacked proof. The investigation cost the Christian Coalition thousands of dollars. Backers of the Boy Scouts' current ban on gay scouts recently held more than 40 rallies across the country to show their support. They demonstrated everywhere from California to New York and here in Central Florida. This coming Thursday, Boy Scout delegates will gather in Texas to vote on lifting the ban. The proposed policy would allow gay scouts, but keep the ban on gay adult leaders. Churches sponsor more than 70% of Scouts units, and many say they'll drop their sponsorship if the ban is lifted. Coming up, religious freedom under fire, where the top hot spots are for Christians around the world.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 U.S. gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
From CBN.
Broken Eardrum is playing at the Civic tonight.
And you'll just have to miss it.
This is so incredibly unfair.
A special story of love and sacrifice.
Joy, Mom comes up with something.
Christopher Quantum, you and I are going to discuss your attitude right this minute. Superbook.
No.
Join the Superbook DVD Club and get Superbook's newest episode, He is Risen. Plus 2 copies to share with others. All for your gift of $25.
They have arrested Jesus, the Messiah. Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you?
No! Please! You can't! They've taken him to Golgotha. We must hurry. Mary is about to lose her son. The worst thing any mother could face. I am not leaving her.
Superbook. It's an amazing way to build a strong spiritual foundation in the children you love.
Mary, who are you looking for?
I've seen him! He is alive!
Superbook. He is Risen. Available now.
Israeli and Syrian forces exchanged fire along Israel's northern border today. The Syrian military fired at an Israeli military vehicle patrolling the Golan Heights. The Israeli military says Syrian gunfire hit their Israeli patrol, damaging the vehicle and prompting troops to fire back. The Syrian army claims it destroyed the vehicle after it crossed a ceasefire line. The incident may be an attempt by President Bashar Assad to show toughness against Israel after recent airstrikes. Israeli forces struck Syrian weapons that were being shipped to the terrorist group Hezbollah this year. Rioters burned down an evangelical church compound in Sudan. Terrorists bomb an Orthodox church in Libya. Muslim radicals murder hundreds of Christians in Nigeria. These are all examples cited in the State Department's new International Religious Freedom Report for 2012. Persecution of Christians is ongoing around the world today, especially in Muslim countries. For more on the latest persecution hotspots, George Thomas spoke with CBN's chief international correspondent, Gary Lane.
And joining us now for more is Gary Lane. He's our senior international correspondent and works with the Voice of the Martyrs. President Obama met with the president of Burma. First time in 60 years that the Burmese president has come.
Historic.
Here, very historic. But Burma continues to be a country of concern. Is the United States moving too quick in these economic relations?
Well, those who are working Burma, the relief agencies and especially the Christians say, yes, the U.S. is moving too fast because the Burmese government, while it is freeing political prisoners from jail, it is cracking down on Christians, particularly the ethnic Kachin people who live in the northern part of the country, burning churches, tearing down churches, forcing many of them into forced labor, and really oppressing the Kachin people, and the vast majority of them are Christian.
Another country is Egypt. We've been reporting on this in the last 24, 27 months since the fall of the Mubarak regime. This particular report faults the government for the lack of protection against for Coptic Christians. What's going on here?
And that is accurate for them to fault the government for that. For example, the radical Muslims will go and they'll attack a church, try to destroy a church, burn it down, or level the church. And guess what? Christians will call the police, nothing happens.
Yeah.
The police will arrive many hours after the incident, and then they'll arrest the Christians. The Christians say, hey, what are you arresting us for? We haven't done anything. We were the victims here. But this happens time and time again. Most recently, we saw an attack on St. Mark's Cathedral. That's the home of the Coptic Orthodox Pope. And that has never been attacked in the past.
Yeah.
Never in the history of Egypt. The government, army, police fired tear gas and attacked that church when some rioters came out front.
And most of the time, the authorities just watch the entire process going.
Well, many times they just watch what's happening. If they're there, if they arrive on the scene, they'll watch and allow it to happen. So this is a very accurate indication of what is happening in Egypt today.
Another country that you are very familiar with, Gary, is Sudan. We've reported over the years the attacks against Christians in the Nuba Mountains, but now there are reports of persecution in the capital of Sudan, in Khartoum.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Khartoum, it's a mess right now for Christians. Churches have been closed. The government wants all Christians out of Sudan.
And where's that pressure coming from? What's going on there?
Well, it's from the Islamists
government.
and the government. They would like to see all of the Christians go to South Sudan because they believe that is a Christian state. Right. So if you're a Christian...
Since they have a new country now.
Yes, about 2 years old now. Yeah. So go down to South Sudan, live there. But Christianity has been in Khartoum for centuries.
Right.
It was there before Islam. Why should they have to leave in their homes that they've been there for generations? Why should they leave, close their churches, and go down to the south? They want to remain. But unfortunately, we're seeing almost like a genocide against Christians in the north.
Wow. You know, we have done so many stories on these reports, on these commissions, when they come out with the reports, trying to, you know, it's obviously something that's mandated by the U.S. government. What is your sense? Does the U.S. government really care? Do they even read this report? Do they have any impact on the countries that are stipulated and highlighted in the report?
I don't think the U.S. has done much about it, the countries that are highlighted in these reports, other than putting pressure on those governments. They raise it as an issue. For example, Vietnam several years ago, the U.S. Council on International Religious Freedom listed them in their annual report on their watch list as a nation of particular concern. The Vietnamese backed off for a while, but then when we back off and the pressure lessens, guess what? They're back to the same old business again, persecuting especially Christians in the mountain areas in that country. So I think it puts pressure on, but are we going beyond that? Are we imposing sanctions because of religious freedom rights not being there?
That's not happening.
No, it isn't. It isn't happening, George. So what good is this report really? It raises awareness, but beyond that, there's not a lot of teeth behind it.
Yeah, well, we do need to continue to talk and highlight these various situations and countries that where people
and
are
we do that here at CBN News. We try to do that regularly.
Gary, thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Up next, a whirlwind tour of the globe. We'll join this young lady on what's called the World Race and find out what this mission is all about.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans. with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right. You could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Imagine quitting your job, leaving everything behind, and setting off on a trip, one that goes to 11 countries in 11 months. Wendy Griffith met one young lady who's doing just that. She's having an adventure of a lifetime on what's called the world race.
In these cultures that we're going to, people don't care what you look like or what you smell like, or, you know, what they care about the message that you have.
"28-year-old Emily Wright of Virginia Beach left her job, her apartment, and her family to take the World Race Challenge. That means over the next 11 months, Emily will visit 11 countries for about 30 days each.
You know, I'm excited just to be a part of something bigger than myself.
Her adventure began helping orphans in Mozambique. From there, she goes to Swaziland, South Africa, India, Nepal, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Moldova, and will end her journey in Romania. The World Race, now in its 7th year, establishes contacts in each country, so Emily and her team will work with local churches and ministries in the region.
The ministries could range from Vacation Bible School to working in orphanages to ministering to women and children who have been in human trafficking, especially in Southeast Asia.
Emily's group is part of a larger team of about 50 racers who've been asked to travel light.
I will have one backpack for the entire 11 months, and I'll be taking a tent. So sometimes we'll have accommodations and sometimes we won't.
How do you feel about going a week without a shower?
I'm the type of girl who can handle that, and in training we had practice doing that. We were living in the woods for a week, group of 50 people, getting close together.
World Race founder Seth Barnes came up with the idea several years ago to give young people an alternative to the 9-to-5 routine.
We push people to do what we call a Luke 10 kind of journey, where they go out and they take virtually nothing, and they know that they've got all spiritual authority, and we ask them to pray for local needs and see what God does when He shows up. And it inevitably changes them as they depend on God with total dependence, that He shows up in power.
Barnes says thousands of young people apply each year because they're looking for more.
By leaving all of this stuff that has defined us and just allowing God to open up His possibilities in all different cultures, they find that there's more to life, that this yearning that they've had inside has an answer.
One thing Emily and her team are discovering is that mission work can be tough and that spiritual warfare is real. Emily shared this recent blog post from Mozambique. "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. In ministry, I see children who are dying in the hospital who have nothing. No bed sheets, no food, no doctors, no paper towels to wipe up their mess. It's so easy to just see the hopelessness and the darkness. But the truth is that God has authority over every seemingly hopeless situation. He is trustworthy, He is good, and He is our healer. And ultimately, He has already defeated sickness and death." If you'd like to take the World Race Challenge like Emily, you just need to be between the ages of 21 and 35 and have a heart for missions and adventure. It'll cost you about $15,000 for the entire journey, but you don't have to have it all before you go. Emily says although the journey is not always easy, her mission remains the same: God's love.
whatever form that takes, giving them shoes or taking them out for an evening, or Jesus said to heal the sick, cast out demons, and raise the dead. And so they really ask you to have that kind of faith.
Wendy Griffith, CBN News.
And you can follow Emily's adventure online, see what country she's in, and help her cause by going to her blog page. Find the link at our website, cbnnews.com, and the World Race launches 3 times a year, so there's still time to get into it for this year. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Scientists in Croatia need to clear hundreds of mines out of land across the country, and they're using a pretty unconventional method to do it. The 1990s war in Croatia left the country with about 466 square miles of land filled with mines. Researchers are now working on training honeybees to detect these unexploded devices. Experts say bees have a perfect sense of smell for the job.
The experiment is to condition our bees on the smell of the TNT, this scent which is coming from the TNT. In the center of this scent we put reward. We put sugar solution as a reward to condition the bee that they can find food.
Bees are preferred over bomb dogs because they're lighter and can cover the field all at once. Pretty fascinating stuff there. That's all for now on the CBN News Channel. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Tell us what you think about the stories you've seen today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. We'll hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day. God bless.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley. Call
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.